Hi, this is Barry here, and you're very welcome to today's podcast episode from WriteCome.com. And today we're going to have a look at what do you do when no one's looking. Now, at the moment when I am recording this podcast episode, it is the 3rd of January, and there at the weekend, myself, my wife, and my son Finn, we took the dog out and we went up the mountainside. And it was a beautiful view. We climbed to the very top of it and we had a whole view of all our local area. And with it being the 1st of January, there was a lot of people out walking on that day. There was some people who were running around and, running up the mountainside and running down the mountainside, and a few people on bicycles. And I was just remarking to my wife, it's amazing, when you see everybody out on the 1st of January like that, they have the brand new bicycles out, they have the brand new spandex, the new tracksuits and all those different things. And I was just saying to her, if we come back to this mountainside in a week's time, how many of those people would you see? How many would you see people running around the mountainside? I doubt you'd see that many. Or if you do see, some people, I doubt it is the numbers that we had seen on the January 1st. And so it is the same too with social media. If you've been following anybody or, paying much attention to what's going on Twitter, on Facebook and Instagram, probably, on the run up to the new year and then into the new year, everybody is posting images of all the resolutions that they're going to be doing. They're using hashtags like hustling and nailing it and killing it and, all those different things. When in the reality, they're not doing it. I'm sure if you followed somebody closely enough, it would be all bravado on the beginning of January, and then by the coming near the end of the January, that bravado and all those different things would taper off, and probably by February you'd probably get a lot of silence. There wouldn't be as much talk about all the work that they were doing. It always makes me laugh that, for someone who is going onto social media and using the hashtag hustling and stuff like that, it probably isn't hustling, because, if you imagine yourself, if you were really that busy, if you were really working that hard, if you were really knuckling down on what needed to be done, the last thing you would have time to do is to go onto social media and tell everybody, that you were hustling it. As Ben Settle says regularly on his old podcast, he used to say, if you have to say you are something, well, that means that you aren't it, because, if you're bigging yourself up in public, there's probably a good chance that that you aren't really as qualified or aren't really as good as what you've been telling the world. And I'm sure you'll see that over the next couple of weeks now. You'll see all those people who are saying they're going to write a novel this week, or they're going to start a blog, or they're going to do a podcast, or they're going to do all those different things. I'm sure by the time February comes, that those things will disappear. You won't hear much mention of that anymore. A lot of those people who should actually be, creating content for YouTube are probably spending all day watching videos on YouTube. And, people who should be doing fiction writing and, plotting a book and all those different things, they're hanging out in forums and they're talking to other people who are in the same situation as them. They're all kind of talking a big game, If you have the time to be writing on social media and posting all those different things, it means that you're not doing the work that you should be doing. So whatever you have planned for this January, maybe you've publicly declared it, maybe you're going to write a book this year, maybe you're going to write to your blog every day. It's one thing to say it publicly, but what are you going to do when nobody's looking? What are you going to do? Are you going to set aside an hour a day to write a blog post? Have you marked it in your calendar every day? Have you got some routine that you're going to follow? Have you committed to create maybe one video for YouTube? Have you committed to, write even one page of fiction a day? Or, what have your plans? You can publicly say what you're going to do, but in private, what have you, what routine you're going to follow? Because it's the routine that you're going to follow in private is going to be the one that is going to get you there. We always look up to the sports stars and all those people that make the big money, and we see the things they do publicly on the football pitch, or on the baseball on the baseball I can't even think the baseball field, or the basketball court. We see all the great achievements that they do, but we don't see the stuff that they put in private. All the many hours they get up, like you see at the Rocky movie, all those the long morning runs when nobody's on the street, and it's all those moments that we don't see. We only see the public moments, and we celebrate the small fraction of the public thing that we see, the sporting event. We don't actually see all the other stuff that goes into it. And so it is for all these great writers and fiction writers or blog writers and non-fiction writers, whatever it is. They get up every single morning. They get up even when they don't want to do it. There's probably a lot of days where Stephen King probably says, I would rather lie on in bed and write a few pages today. But he forces himself to do it. And because of that, he has reached the point of where he has, he's not going around using the hashtag hustling or, nailing it or all those different things that you see on social media, because he's too busy actually doing the work. So don't kid yourself into all the things that you see on social media that all these people are actually doing the work when they're probably not. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. Again, just before I let you go, if you've been listening to the podcast episode recently, you've probably seen me or heard me talking about being kicked out of the KDP store, and I'd just like to update you on what happened since that last episode. One of my subscribers gave me an email for Jeff Bezos at the time when I had told my list that I had been kicked out of the KDP store. She had told me that I should try sending an email off to Jeff Bezos. And at the time I thought, well, that's a crazy idea. Why would Jeff Bezos be interested in my story? But she said just give it a go, because, you never know what might happen. And I said, well, okay, I'll try it and see, maybe something will happen because of it. But, I wasn't thinking that anybody would read my email. So anyway, I wrote an email off to Jeff Bezos anyway, and I just explained my case and what had happened and how I had come to be kicked out of the KDP store. And I just, I thanked him for, for giving me the opportunity to sell books in the KDP store, and just explained I thought it was a little bit unfair that I got kicked out because of a copyright issue and blah blah blah, and sent the email off a couple of weeks back and never gave much thought. And I says, well, that's it, so I may just try and find some kind of income stream that isn't going to rely on the KDP store. And lo and behold, just before Christmas, I got an email back from, I take it wasn't back from Jeff Bezos. I assume he has some other person who reads through his emails, or a department or something like that, and they sent me an email back saying that they were reinstating me in the KDP store. So happy days. So you never know, how things can go for you. So basically I was told just to watch any copyright infringement in future, and they were going to reinstate my account with immediate effect. So right now I am back on the KDP store. I am just relaunching my books there, and we'll take it from here and see how it goes. So you never know what may happen. And again, I want to thank Jeff Bezos or whoever answered that email, because I had totally given up on ever selling books on the Amazon store. But it was like a Disney movie. It was a Christmas miracle, and so that's what happened. So if you've been following the story, just to let you know that I'm now back in the KDP store. So happy days. So as always, thanks for sharing your time with me again today. If you enjoyed this podcast episode, or you want to get in touch, or you want to find out more about me, or you want to find out about the WriteCome blog, you're very welcome to come over to WriteCome.com. That's WriteCome.com. And we'd love to see you over there, and we have some great content I'm sure that you will love reading. So as always, thanks for sharing your time with me again today. Take care and have a great day.